Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my dear students. You all are warmly welcome to Pasan Vijayawardhana Economics on. Right, okay. So today we are going to discuss an important part of 11th lesson. 11th lesson is development and growth in A-level syllabus. Right? So in this lesson, one of the major part that we have to discuss is population. So we are going to start 11th lesson of A-level economics syllabus from population part. Okay, right. So let's come to population part. Right. So firstly, we should know about the lesson map. Okay, before starting every lesson, we should have a clear understanding regarding the flow of the lesson. So let's move to the lesson map of the lesson. Right. So this is the 11.1, the first part of the 11th lesson in A-level economics syllabus. Right. So this can be divided into several parts. Right. Number one is, in this lesson, we are going to discuss population introduction part. Population introduction part. Right? And then the second part that we have to discuss in this lesson is population related concepts. Population concepts. Population concepts. And the third part that we have to discuss is a very important thing, that is labor force. Labor force. So when we write it as labor force, right? And this labor force can be redivided into two basic parts. You know, the labor force is consisted with two main parts. Number one, that is employment. 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 And the second part, that is unemployment. Employment and unemployment. Okay, so it is very clear. So this is the fourth part that we have to discuss, and this is the fifth part that we have to discuss. Right? Okay. Now when we finish all these 5 parts, that's the end of 11.1 population part. So basically in A-level, the 11th lesson, the lesson before last lesson, is consisted with 3 parts only. This is the first part, and we are willing to finish this first part within month May. Right? Okay. So let's come to the first part, population introduction. Right? Okay. So we can write the first topic, population introduction. Population introduction. Right? Okay. So I will write population, and firstly we have to discuss what exactly mean by population. Yes. So how can we define population exactly? Population is defined in this way. Please keep in mind, population is the number of people living in a particular geographical area during a certain period of time. I'll repeat the definition for the population. Population is the number of people living in a certain geographical area during a certain period of time. So I'll write the definition on the board. Okay, so I can write number of people living in a particular geographical area. During a certain period of time. This is the original definition for what? Population. Right. So what are the important terms in this population definition? Number of people. That means we are focusing on number of persons or number of people. And the other one, living in a particular geographical area. That means we are focusing on a specific geographical area. Okay, and the other one, I will take this one here, certain period of time. During a certain period of time. That means we are focusing on specific period of time. Okay. So, number of people living in a particular geographical area during a certain period of time is defined as the population. Now, let's think about a country. So, this is country Sri Lanka. This is a certain geographical area. And period 2018, this is a certain period of time. And suppose number of people living in Sri Lanka in 2018 is 21 million, then that 21 million is known as what? Population. It's not compulsory to consider only a country with national boundaries. It can be a city. This geographical area can be a city, can be a small village, or can be a small territory. Clear? Right? It's not compulsory to consider only a country. So suppose this is the Kandy city. This is the Kandy city in Sri Lanka. And we are considering a certain period of time, 2020. Number of people living in Kandy in 2020 also can be recognized as population. Therefore, when defining population, it is not compulsory to limit only to a country or only to a city. Okay, it can be any kind of geographical period. Clear? Geographical area. Right. Okay. So I think the population concept is very clear for you. Okay, that is the number of people living in a certain geographical area during a specific period of time. Clear? Right. Super. Now let's move to the next important part of this population introduction. That is not any other thing. Okay. Factors affect for population size. Factors affect for population size. This is the topic. Right. Population size. Number of the people living in a certain geographical area during a certain period of time. That's the population size. So what are the factors that affecting for change in this population size? Right? Now consider country Sri Lanka. Okay? In country Sri Lanka, our mid-year population is 21.67 million of the people. 21.67 million of the people is the population of the country. Okay, my question, why are we considering mid-year population only? Yes, my dear students, generally when census and statistics department calculate this population, they are not calculating the population at the beginning of the year. They are not calculating the population at the end of the year. They are always calculating the population at the middle of the year. Clear? Right. So here also, Sri Lanka also have calculated their mid-year population, which is the population at the middle of the year. Not at the beginning, not at the end, but at the middle. That was 21.67 million. Clear? So we are considering the statistics in year 2018 because for 2020 A-level students, the relevant year is 2018. You should concerned about all the statistics relevant for year 2018. And the next one, right? So when considering about the country China, you know, country China is the most populous country in the world, no? Right. So when considering about country China, the mid-year population in country China was 1.3 billion. it is not a million value, it is a billion value. Clear? This is million value, this is billion value. The most populous country in the world. And the next one, we consider country Bhutan. Country Bhutan, right? So what's the specialty of country Bhutan? I will take here country Bhutan, right? So in country Bhutan, so this is the statistic relevant for year 2018, and here also year 2018, okay, that was around 750,000 plus. More than 750,000 or around 750,000. So my dear students, now you can see a specialty. What is the specialty? In Sri Lanka, our media population was 21.67 million. It is a million value. In China, it was a billion value. It is the most populous country in the world. Okay? But in Bhutan, it is 1,000 value. 750,000. Right. See, the size of the population is different from country to country. Size of the population is different from country to country. Am I clear for you? Right. So my question is, what are the factors that affect for this difference in between the sizes of the country? Factors which affect for differences of sizes of the population of the country is known as factors affecting for population size. Okay? එහෙනම් යම් සාධක කීපයක් නිසා රටක population size එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. ඒක නිසා තමයි ශ්‍රී ලංකාව, චීනය and Bhutan කියන countries වල population එකේ කිනකට වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Right? ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ මධ්‍යස්ථ level එකක් තියෙනවා population එක. චයිනා වල ලොකු level එකක් තියෙනවා population එක. Bhutan වල චොට්ටයි. මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ඇයි මෙහිම population එකේ size එක රටින් රටට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ? So what are the factors that affect for population size? Alright. Yes, according to economics, there are three main factors which affect for the change in population size. Right. What are the three factors? Okay, I will take those three factors into the board. Number one, that is very important. Fertility. Fertility. What do you mean by fertility? That is live births. Live births mean, right? We know if we can generate a baby with a very good healthy condition, right? Okay, then that can be identified as a live birth, right? It is also known as fertility. Keep in mind. Right, now tell me, what is the impact of the fertility or live births to the population size? If number of live births increases, what will happen to the population in future? Yes, if births increases, population size also will increase. Clear? You know, if we can generate more and more babies in a country, definitely we can increase the population size. And simultaneously, if number of live births decreases, okay, what will happen? The population size also will go down. That means the birth and population size have a positive relationship. If births increases, population increases. If birth decreases, population decreases. Clear? Right. Second factor affect for population is mortality. What do you mean by mortality, guys? Mortality is not the live birth cases, it is the death cases. Not birth, death cases. Deaths, right? So if number of deaths increases, if number of death cases increases, what will happen to the population of the country? Death increases. If death rate go up, if number of deaths increases, population will go down. Now these days we know, due to COVID-19 virus, now Sri Lanka have lost 9 lives. No, not only Sri Lanka. When considering about the entire world, we lost how many lives? Okay, more than 250 death cases were reported in here, in right now, up to full moon day of Vesak, right? So that means if death cases increases, what will happen to the country's population? It will go down. Now, can you remember the most severe epidemic disease? That was flu influenza. Before that, okay, that was a Black Death disease in Europe. Okay, because of this, all of these epidemic diseases, we lost lots of lives, millions and billions of the lives. Okay, we lost it. Because of these death cases, what will happen? Population will go down. If we can reduce the death cases, then we can increase the population. Okay, when death cases decrease, population increase. When death cases increase, population decrease. It is very clear the mortality and population have negative relationship. Negative relationship or inverse relationship. And the next one, third factor that affects for the population size is what? Immigrations and migrations. Right? Okay, so what do we mean by immigrations? Yes, for an example, suppose the outsider of the country come to Sri Lanka and establish permanent resident in Sri Lanka. Then we call that as immigration. But if Sri Lankan person go out from the Sri Lanka and establish permanent resident in abroad, then that is what we call as migrations or emigrations. We can say this as emigrations as well. Clear? So foreigners come in and establish permanent resident there. Okay, we call it as immigrations. But what is known as emigrations? That is people in Sri Lanka go out from the Sri Lanka and establish permanent residency abroad. Clear? Right. Okay, so through this we can generate a concept called net immigrations. Okay, what is known as net immigration? My dear students, please keep in mind, net immigration is the difference between immigration and emigrations. That means immigration minus subtract emigration is known as the net immigration. Suppose number of countries came to Sri Lanka for permanent resident in the last year is 1,000. Just a hypothetical example. 1,000. Then that is immigration. Immigration. And it should there should be a minus mark. And suppose number of people who go out from Sri Lanka to establish permanent resident in abroad is 800. Okay, that means emigration is 800. Then what is the value of the net migration? Net migration is 200. Okay, 200. So if we can increase the net migration, definitely we can increase the population. If net migration go down, we will experience the loss of or fall down of population. Right? So simply immigration cause increase of population or decrease of population. When outsiders come in, what will happen to the population? Increase. Immigration cause increase of the population. And migration. What migration cause? Yes, migration will cause what happened to the population? Migrations or emigrations. That means people go out. Then what will happen to the population? Go down. That means it is very clear immigration cause rise in the population and immigration cause decline in the population. Anyhow, net migration is the difference between immigration and emigration, this net migration and population have positive relationship. Okay, that's the basic introduction about the population and population size. So far we have discussed what is population. So population is the number of the people living in a country or a certain kind of a geographical area, well, in a given period of time. Okay, and we learned that. Okay, so population size is different from country to country. The population in Sri Lanka is too different from China. It is too different from Bhutan. It is too different from Rome, like that. That means the population sizes are different in between or among countries. So why? Why is that? What are the factors that affect for the population size? So there are three main factors as we learn. Number one, fertility, which is also known as live births. Second one, mortality, which is also known as death cases. Last one, immigration and emigrations. Okay, the difference between those two concepts is net immigrations, net immigrations. Okay, right. So however, fertility and population size have a positive relationship. Mortality and population size have a negative relationship. Then net migration and population size have positive relationship. Immigration and population have a positive relationship. Immigration and population size have a negative relationship. Okay, so that's the basic introduction of population. Then in the next part we have to discuss about five basic population concepts and some other population related ratios. So join with my next video. So you are again with Hasan Wijewardena, Economics.